I am grateful for every day we have.
It is a blessing you came to me.
Colonel Fraser.
If you've been following Outlander or read the books, you will love it. The series is kept going by the incredible love Jamie and Claire have for each other. Their bond has withstood many dangers and traumas. With the way Season 5 ended, their love and resilience will be tested in Season 6. Here then is Outlander Season 6, Everything We Know. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. What happened in Season 5? Season 5 began on a joyous tone with the wedding of Jamie and Claire's daughter Brianna, Sophie Skelton, to University Professor Roger Richard Rankin at their new home in Fraser's Ridge, North Carolina. Life in the 1700s was rarely easy. The series has been based on the background of the violence and trauma, and things did not get easier for Jamie's family and friends. Stephen Bonnet, Brianna's rapist from Season 4, played by Ed Spielers, had the audacity to try and claim Brianna's son, Jamie and Roger planned to kill Bonnet, and that ultimately led to his death by drowning. Brianna, however, used the opportunity to kill the man who raped her, shooting him to death as the water rose around him. Governor Tryon forced Jamie to form a militia against the rebellion, led by his own godfather, Murtaugh. It was unfortunate that we saw the death of Murtaugh, and he will be missed by fans of the show. This season saw many beloved characters face situations where they got very hurt, as we have become used to from Outlander. These included Jamie's bad snake bite to Roger's hanging. These gory and sometimes traumatic experiences did not ease up as we built up to the finale, for a good reason. In the penultimate episode, we saw Brianna and Roger attempt to travel back to the future with their son Jemmy. After touching the stone circle, gems in hand, they simply found themselves right back in the 1700s in North Carolina. The penultimate episode ends with Lionel Brown attacking Fraser's Ridge and kidnapping Claire, the traumatic finale to Season 5. The end to Season 5 is probably one of the most disturbing in the history of the show. In the first scene in the season finale, the viewer is confronted with a bloodied Claire tied to a tree or tree root. The finale also does not start the normal way. Every episode starts with the usual flashback style look at the previous episode. Then at some point within the first few minutes, the theme song of Outlander, the Skyboat song, is played. The finale's flashback was accompanied by no words, only dramatic music, and each scene had a drum beat accompanying it like a heart beating faster. This episode also had no intro song. Fans already knew something bad was coming. Claire's ordeal is portrayed by actual flashbacks to what had happened to her since she was abducted in the previous episode, interspersed with flashes to a world in the 1960s, which never occurred and showed how life would have been if she had the same family and friends she has now, without the violence of 18th century Scotland. The 60s scene has a song playing in the background. The song is called Never My Love by The Association. The song is about unending love no matter the trials. The title of the episode now also makes sense. We learn that Lionel Brown reveals to Claire that he has found out she is Dr. Rawlings and blames her for his wife not wanting to have sex with him anymore. What follows is the most upsetting scene in the whole series when Brown physically assaults Claire. He then rapes her and allows his men to gang rape her. The whole time we see these flashes of life in the 60s with Never My Love playing. Jamie and his men manage to find this camp and attack. Many of Claire's abductors survive the initial attack. Myers first offers Claire the opportunity to kill her rapists, but Jamie informs him of her oath to do no harm. Jamie orders his men to kill every one of the men they find there. Brown is wounded, but alive, and is taken to Fraser's Ridge. At the ridge, Claire tells Brown she will do him no harm. She goes to a private area and breaks down crying for the first time since her ordeal. Much to our satisfaction, Marsali informs Brown that she never took the oath not to harm, and she kills him with a lethal injection. Claire is strong despite her ordeal and tells Jamie in a very emotional moment, "No, I have lived through a world war, and I have lost a child, lost 2 husbands. I've been starved with an army, and I've been beaten. I've been betrayed. I've been imprisoned, and I will not. I survived. And this? I am supposed to be shattered by this? Well, I won't be." The season finale ended after Jamie returned Brown's body to his brother. brother, who then vowed to take revenge on Jamie. In the final scene, we see Jamie and Claire naked in bed together cuddling. Claire's whole body is bruised. Jamie asks her how she feels, to which she responds, safe. Expectations for season 6. We know the next season will have 12 episodes, just like season 5, and one less than season 4. The next season is not expected until next spring though. The fans call these long periods between seasons Droughtlander. It was 1774 when we left Fraser's Ridge in season 5. The Revolutionary War started in 1775, so we were close to war when season 5 ended. Season 6 will start close to the war. The war will see Jamie and his men fight for the rebels, as he has no real love for the British and knows the British will lose the war. We will see people he knows join forces with the British. Then his enemies, such as Lionel Brown's brother, will simply try to take revenge on Jamie and may do it through the ones he loves. Season 6 should also see a lot more time travel. The books do not always guide the narrative, but time travel is an integral part of the series, so it will happen a few times more. Sam Heughan, Jamie, revealed to a fan on Twitter in March 2020 that filming for the next season has now begun. He tweeted, "We have started episode 1. So excited, but you're going to love the rest of this season." Season 6 will cover book 6 by Diana Gabaldon, A Breath of Snow and Ashes. The show has not stayed exactly true to Gabaldon's books, so do not expect all the information provided here to be 100% true. Speculating is, after all, part of the fun as we wait for another season of Outlander. Roger and Brianna will probably time travel for real. Fans describe the Roger and Brianna time travel misfire at the end of season 5 as unnecessary since they went nowhere and ended up exactly where they started. After the time travel misfire, Roger and Brianna realized when they tried to time travel, they both thought of home and ended up back in 1774. Despite the criticism, the finale does end with Bree and Roger feeling good about being home, and we think the point was to make them realize that home is where the heart is. It coincides with a moment of complete presence in the final episode, with Claire also enjoying a moment with the children and Lan playing as the sun sets, despite her ordeal. It gives us a feel-good moment in an otherwise traumatic finale, meaning there is no hope on the horizon. It might even be a reflection on the times we live in with the global health situation, letting us know that everything will eventually be fine. True to the book though, Roger and Bree will travel back to the future in season 6 after their daughter is born. She is born with a heart defect and they have to travel to the future to get the appropriate medical treatment since Claire cannot do anything about the situation. Fergus will try to commit suicide. We know Marsali is pregnant with her 4th child. In the novels, that child is Henry Christian, a boy born with dwarfism. We know how well people at the Ridge take things like science and women having thoughts or rights, so you can imagine how nasty people will become with regards to Henry Christian. Fergus already feels like crap because he feels he cannot provide for his family. Now he also feels ill-equipped to protect Henry Christian. All of this pressure leads to a heartbreaking moment when Jamie finds Fergus trying to kill himself. Jamie considers Fergus his son and gave him his last name, so the scene is very emotional for both of them. This scene includes Jamie reminding Fergus how much he is loved and appreciated. It will be a real tearjerker. Lizzie marries twins. After a touch of malaria, Lizzie is nursed back to health by the Beardsley twins, who use a mixture of oil and sex. In a terrible mix-up, she ends up having sex with the wrong brother. Apparently, she does not mind what is actually a sexual assault if you think about it. It is all a bit confusing, but she ends up marrying both brothers after telling them that they are actually one person in 2 bodies. Confused? Watch the next season. We find out what the obituary for Jamie and Claire is all about. Remember that Bree traveled to the past to warn her parents about the obituary that tells of how Jamie and Claire are killed in a house fire? There are, of course, more books after A Breath of Snow and Ashes, so we know Jamie and Claire live on. Apparently, the house does burn down, but the lovers survive, and the whole point is for them to return to Scotland, which will probably be where we find them in season 7. We're looking forward to season 6 of Outlander, when it does eventually launch. Fans have come to love Jamie and Claire's endless love. It is the kind of thing legends are made of. After Claire's ordeal, we will see her still carry her emotional scars for a long time, just like Bree carries hers after her rape. In the end, everything will be fine though, as it always is. So, that is all we have time for today. See you here for our next interesting video.